We've got our top 10. We've got 2 of them here today for So You Think You Can Dance.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
All right, you guys, welcome on in to The Point. This is one of our special editions. I'm Kristyn Burtt, of course. This is presented by Dance Network and Popcorn Talk as well. Now, I know last night, first cuts are the deepest, honestly, but I always get excited because I get them here in studio. And guess what? They're all going on tour. 40 plus cities beginning in October. It kicks off in Atlantic City. So it's all good news for everyone because this is just the beginning. And here with me today, Chelsea Hough. How are you?
I am so elated to be here. It's so exciting to even just hear the little theme song of the show. It's just, every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, it's real. It's like it's really happening. It's still happening.
It's still
I got eliminated,
happening.
but it's still happening. I get to go on tour. We have the finale to look forward to. There's no telling what that's even in store. So I'm super excited about all of this. It's been really wonderful, honestly.
I'm here to tell you that I've had enough So You Think alumni here in this seat, and I'm here to tell you that the tour is the best part. Everybody says it. Everyone says it's where you make all of the memories. You're no longer competing against each other.
Right.
It's just everyone is there together. So it's super special, and you guys get to go back to one at the Dolby Theater here in Los Angeles.
I know, it's crazy. Every time I pass it, because, I live here, I'm just like, that was a good moment. Those were good times. It's so wonderful.
And one thing to remember, no one can ever take away from you that you were top 10 in season 15. You know how many people competed. It was a tough, grueling, not even, you go to New York, LA, then you break it down to Academy, and then you get here.
And you know what? Every year they take less and less people, so it gets that much harder to even make it to even like the Academy round. It took, it was like 67 people.
Correct. And last year it was 100. So,
yeah.
And just a few people will qualify. A few people do drop out because they have jobs or they have visa issues. But other than that, the people that they give a ticket to, it's not a huge talent pool anymore. It's not like, okay, we have 120 spots. Doesn't exist anymore.
No, it's gotten harder and harder every year. And this time I just went, I'm just going to do this for myself. I want to experience more, not knowing I was going to end up on the show. And it's still, it's a dream. It's truly a dream. And we actually, speaking of a dream, we have tour merchandise that I did not bring with me, but we just got it today.
Do you have like
so excited.
jackets?
We have jackets. We have, oh my gosh, this crop black jacket. Like it's a crop shirt. It's like a sweatshirt.
Nice.
It's super comfortable.
Are your faces on any of them?
Not yet. I don't know if they're going to be doing that, but it's like, So You Think You Can Dance live tour 2018, season 15. It's really wonderful.
I love it. There'll be a program with all of your faces and bios and things like that.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's kinda cool.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I've been on tour before, but not as a dancer. So I'm so excited to actually be a dancer for this particular show right now. I'm so excited for it.
Well, you've auditioned for this show before. I mean, going back to season 10. Season 10 was the very first one. What do you remember from that, and like, what did you learn?
One of my favorite memories is the fact that I saw Curtis Holland. I don't know if you remember him.
Of course, I remember. He's a good tapper.
We are like this. We actually were just talking the other night, and we're just kind of like getting together and realizing, wow, we're really, not only were we in this together because we're friends, but now we're like truly like hardcore family. And he was there in line and he said my name. I'm like, who else do I know here that I'm not already with? I'm like, Curtis. I freaked out because we both made it to Vegas, but I got cut after my solo. But to see him move forward and forward, I was so proud. I'm still proud. And he's doing amazing things
Broadway.
right now. Oh my goodness. I'm so proud of him. And to have that friendship means more to me than anything in the world. That was something I remembered most about auditioning.
Season 10.
Yeah.
You came back not until season 14, is that correct?
Yes, I think my mom actually had to tell me about this because apparently we were going to go to another city, but there was a snowstorm and life happens. And I ended up going back to that Marvel show. So,
Well, I don't think a lot of people know about your Marvel show. So let's talk about that because hello, Storm. You do a little stunt work then if you're playing Storm with doing the Marvel Universe tour.
I was this close to not going to that audition because I couldn't find it. It was like some Harry Potter address, something in a quarter. I'm just like, ow, what? Where is this? It was at, I don't know, the Cirque School in LA. Mm-hmm. So I went, I just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I just like, you've seen my tricks in the show so far, my flip over. So I did stuff like that. And I was really taking notes. Well, we actually got to learn from the Spider-Man, like his stunt double that day. It was really cool. And like, I'm not really thinking much of it. And you get the phone call, you get emails, you get phone call. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's happening. And it was the most surreal experience because I'm like, what am I getting myself into? I'm a dancer. I'm not supposed to be falling from this catwalk right now.
Well, what a cool experience.
I realized that that's something that I can do. I don't know, maybe not for the rest of my life, but that's something else I can do. It made me realize all the possibilities I can have as a performer. I don't have to be just Chelsea Maria Hough, the dancer. I'm Chelsea Maria Hough, the artist, and I can go to different avenues in this career, and it makes me really excited to all the opportunities that can unfold.
Well, it also is a reminder that dancers are also athletes. And I think that we forget sometimes because you want to be the artist, which is fantastic, and as you should. But you also have to remember you're also an athlete and you can utilize your body in so many different ways and different avenues that I think we don't naturally think about.
And you know what? Being on this show, they treat us like athletes. We have a PT, we have the medic, and they make sure that not only we're taken care of, but they remind us like, hi, you need electrolytes, you need this, you need that. They remind us that we are athletes, and it's no joke. The rehearsal process are no joke, and I love it because I feel like I'm in like the best shape of my life right now.
Your body looks really good.
Like, thank you. I'm just like, yes, I feel, and it's that feeling of not even just it looking nice. I feel confident, and I know I had some things with my ankle and whatnot, and that's just because my body wasn't physically ready for all the rehearsal process. And we did, they've never done 2 duets in the very beginning. So that's something that was kind of like, whoa, here we go. But it was a wonderful push. It was a really wonderful challenge. And it's nice to be looked at as an athlete. It really is.
You said you weren't ready for because you guys were basically straight out of the gate, 2 duets, a group number. If you went back in time to in between Academy and the live shows, would there be something training wise you would do a little bit different?
I don't think there's anything I could have done differently because taking class and being in rehearsals are 2 different processes. You take class for, it's okay to mess up in a class. It's okay to, it's okay to do whatever you need to do in a class for yourself because it's a different process than when you're in rehearsal, especially for this show. I don't think, Robert said it best, like no one's really prepared for this show.
Right.
All the producers were like, no one's really ready for what this show entails. So I don't think there's anything I would have done differently because my main concern was being mentally sound because I knew this was going to be a challenge on my composure and how I carried myself. And I really wanted to make sure that I was focused no matter what happened and that I really enjoyed the process and I was able to grow. And no matter what frustrations I might have had, I'm like, Chelsea, you're here and you deserve to be here. That's something I kept, especially in this last show, especially right before Contemporary. I was just like, you deserve to be here.
You do deserve to be here.
You deserve to be here, and not for what anybody else thinks, just because you worked hard enough for yourself to obtain this wonderful opportunity. And actually, there was a little tear of joy and accomplishment right before I went on. I'm sure no one saw it, but I felt it. I'm like, oh, this is happening, and just looking up at that snow, I was like, wow, this is unreal. Especially the first time we rehearsed. Oh my God.
And here's the thing too, like if you had to leave yesterday, leave on a Travis Wallace with snow. And I said you looked very serene up there, which I thought was really beautiful. Travis was very happy, and he you'll have to watch Travis's interview from the press line last night, but he did feel like the judges were a little too nitpicky. He said, I wanted a little bit more encouragement coming from the judging side, talking specifically to you and to Evan, because he felt like let them experience this and enjoy the process a little bit more, because there's constructive criticism that we all need, of course.
Of course, we won't grow without that. That's actually my favorite thing, because I grew up being really sensitive. Like I'm a very sensitive, and I'm still a very sensitive person. But to understand there's a difference between constructive criticism and just, kind of just saying what you want to say, and not necessarily for the judges, but I had to figure out the difference for myself and how I took it. So knowing that there is a difference, but understanding that it's coming from a place of an opinion, and knowing that as long as you know yourself, you'll be fine. I really enjoyed hearing all of their critiques. And I say enjoy, not like, oh, I don't want to be a put on right now, but it's nice to hear, because I wasn't sure what they were going to say.
Right.
And I was a little worried about what they were going to say. And it almost messed up my performance for me, not in terms of how well I did, but how I felt about it, because I didn't want to worry about what are the judges going to say? What are people back home going to say? I said, you know what, Chelsea, what do you say?
That's right.
You
You're
know,
here
what is Evan? How does Evan feel about this? And every time we looked at each other like, we've got this, you know, and it's not that what they say doesn't matter, but I have to, like you said, I'm really happy I can't wait to watch his interview, because I didn't know I didn't get a chance to talk to him afterwards. So,
and you know, it was interesting because it kind of, he and I were conversing, but then it kind of like came out of a place where he was like, I'm a little frustrated. He felt a little frustrated. And we have to remember that Travis came out of a place as a contestant. So he has been, we forget this, but he's been in your shoes. It's been a while, but he understands that trajectory, and he understands, what it's like to be judged. And, you know, at home, it's easy for us to just look at that and go, well, why did that happen that way? And how did it go down? But we're not in the pressure cooker that you guys are in. And it is a pressure cooker.
It is.
And I see it, you know, I'm like the little, you know, fish on the outside of the main, you know, aquarium. But I do see it. I see what you guys are going through in some way, shape, or form. And that's tough. It's not easy.
You know, and they really were hard on me about the tap too. And I will say that I did not, I promise you, I did not go, I'm the best at tap.
Okay.
I promise that wasn't me. I say this because like I was excited if I got tap, because I have tapped before, and that I wasn't afraid. It was more of excitement of, I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable and just be put in this position.
I want you to break this down for the audience at home, though. This is super important. This is super, super important when it comes to tap. How was this presented? Was the group asked, like, does anybody tap or anything else like that? Or was it just in a one-on-one as they're trying to figure out partnerships like, hey, Chelsea, do you tap?
Yeah, so I think, I think it might have just been an email. Or even a text message. It could have been that formal.
They do
or
text.
informal.
They do text a lot.
They
so
text
it's true.
us. We get all the forms, phone calls, everything. And they just asked us what shoes. I think one of them was, what shoes do we have? And I had tap shoes. I didn't have great tap shoes. They were terrible tap shoes because they're jazz tap shoes, which gives you no support. But I had them, and then they ended up providing me some, which they've never had to do before, because everybody who's been on the show for tap was a tapper. I felt really, and I still feel very honored to have done that. And I'm very proud of every piece that I did, but especially that one, because let me tell you, I was growing up, every time we had to do recital, I was terrified of tap. And then we had the audacity to do it for competition. It's not that I didn't want to. I just felt like I was so terrible at it. I was like, I don't want to go on stage. So the fact that I actually did this on national television and doing so well, like I know for myself that I did the best that I could do and enjoyed myself.
And worked with an Emmy-nominated choreographer. Anthony Morigerato is no joke. He's incredible.
And he's so kind and patient with me too.
And he's so low-key. I don't think people realize this. He comes up with these amazing tap numbers, and he's really rather shy, honestly.
He's so sweet. He's so shy. He was like saying like, she's so much better at the camera. I'm like, I don't know. I got really practice like with Marvel. I got a lot of practice with PR with that. So I'm very thankful for that. But he was such a kind, genuine, and patient man. And he actually posted something on social media. It was a very long post, and it was very kind of him to say. I really appreciate him and his kind words and just his patience with me, because I know I was not picking up as quick as I wanted to. And I knew I wasn't going to. But I was just like, wash away, work with Evan when we get back, and do all good. We're going to do it. And we did.
And that's important. And I think Twitch really called that out on the panel that week. He was like, understand, you are the first person in So You Think You Can Dance history who is not a formally trained tapper. You've taken some tap, but you're not, you know.
I ambition.
But here's the thing. You went out there on national TV, gave it your all, had a smile on your face, performed. No one else has had that challenge. And I hope, you know, normally I tell people don't read comments and things like that, but I hope when you have the opportunity to kind of breathe and have a moment, you actually should go on Facebook and read the comments, because they're very supportive of you.
On Facebook? I heard they were really aggressive on Facebook.
A lot of people were like, 20 votes for Chelsea, because they felt like you got kind of like the short end of the deal. It's okay. But I also was looking through some of the YouTube comments on for So You Think on your performances for both you and Evan, and they were very complimentary. And I think there's a lot more support that you probably feel like, oh gosh, there wasn't enough support. There was a lot of support.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure. It's nice to hear that. And I get messages on Instagram a lot. That's kind of where I'm at. And Twitter. And they have been very kind. And I go live and they just are super sweet and they have really wonderful things to say. I said, okay, well, these comments are not, I was afraid because, they can switch. It can be like super nice because they were super supportive after that first show. So I was worried because I know that could flip in an instant. So I'm like, don't read them. But of course, you can't help to read them sometimes, especially when they at you. And I try not to pay attention. But when they all seem to be so positive, I said, well, thank you so much. I really hope that anyone who's watching this right now, I really appreciate you and your support and being so kind. And I'm just happy that I have gotten this opportunity. And I feel like there's going to be so many more opportunities because of this. It's not really how far I went in the competition. I feel like it's how I stood my ground. And man, I just imagining myself on that stage still. It was crazy because the pressure wasn't as prevalent this time. Because I had gone through it before. We knew how the rehearsal was like, okay, we're going to do this, and this, and then the show.
Week 2 is a little bit easier.
It's a little bit easier. I feel like I had numbers to where I could really showcase who I was for the first time. I felt like I wasn't performing for someone. I was like, this is me.
Chris Scott really enjoyed, and it's another interview you should watch. Chris Scott really said that he said he felt like you took the stuff from week 1, where you're like, I just got to work this out. And he's like, I felt like she came to the rehearsal studio ready to work out that stuff in the piece.
Really?
Yeah.
I cannot wait to watch both. Well, look, you know what? Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Travis. I really enjoyed both of those numbers. We got in the room and he turned on Love on the Brain. I said, no way.
It's such a good
This
song.
is not real. I could not believe it. I feel so honored to have such beautiful pieces. And even though I got eliminated, I'm like, those pieces, I'm proud and I'm thankful for both of them.
And hopefully you'll get to perform one of them on tour as well.
I'm hoping so. Honestly, I loved all of them. I'm hoping one of them comes back. I don't know how that works. Do the fans vote for that? Or?
No, actually, Mandy Moore, who is going to be structuring the tour for you guys, will look at some of the pieces and see how they fit, because certain pieces all have similar tones, like relationships, so they might put together 4 relationship pieces. And then Mandy, who is a genius at this, she creates transitions in between these pieces that you would never, ever think about. And you watch the show and you're like, that was amazing. So it's really beautiful. So there could be some like romance ones. You have the people at the beginning of like the romance, people in the heart of the romance, people at the breakup, that type of thing. So there'll be an arc to the storyline, and the duets will come in and go out and come in and go out. It's great.
I'm so excited that I get to really do this. This is unbelievable. I can't believe this is really happening. Like, to talk to you, I'm talking to you right now. I'm like, oh, I'm just casually going on tour for So You Think You Can Dance. No big deal. And I got to see, I think, was Sabra season 3 or 4? 3. I don't know why I flip-flop those. I think those were my 2 favorite seasons, so I kind of flopped those. So I got to see them live. They came to Nashville.
Yes, you had the photo that you posted up. I told you this the first week. I said, you make sure that you get a great photo of your favorite moment from season 15 and put it up next to season 3 and like frame them together.
Oh man, I need to.
And then like dreams do come true or whatever you're.
I totally will do that. So when we go on tour, we're in our first city. It's Atlantic City, New Jersey. Trying to be really good with my little press here.
It is Atlantic City.
Atlantic City. I will get a picture of myself just standing in front of our stage with everything, and then have the other one side by side.
Do it.
Watching it and being in it.
And you need it in your house, too, because you need to see that every single day. Because as your career goes on, remember, this is just the beginning. And we do have to wrap up in a few moments, which is crazy. I know, because we could sit here all day. But you're always welcome back. Don't you worry. Yes. Post-tour, come on back. But I want to know, next steps beyond the tour. Do you have a dream job that you would love? We talked about Broadway a little bit. You know what? My cousin Charles, actually, I've been talking to him a little bit, and he has been discovering all that I can do. He didn't really know. And now we're talking more about what I can do for Broadway. And I'm hoping I actually been wanting to do commercial work, like actual commercials, because
they do pay well, but also like how often they are seen across not only like the United States, but like it goes everywhere.
Right.
Just little different avenues of what I can do with my career. Maybe even get into stunts a little bit. My boyfriend actually does stunts. That's how we met actually on that show.
I love it.
He's probably not going to appreciate that I said that. I'm not saying your name, so no one can follow you. Bless his heart, but he's amazing.
Mystery man.
But everything is unfolding the way that it needs to. I know what I want, and whatever it best presents itself in that moment, I'm going to take it. And that's kind of what this is right now. So right now it's a tour. And then I'm thinking some kind of show, some kind of Broadway show, maybe something touring, or maybe something local here I can do in LA.
We'll see what's next, Chelsea. All right, tell everyone where they can follow you in case they're not following you on Instagram or Twitter or anything else.
Okay, so Twitter and Instagram are the same. BAYBEEHUFF. That is Baby Hough, at Baby Hough. And then on Facebook, I have a little professional page that I created.
Fantastic.
Just my full name, Chelsea Maria Hough, like tough, Hough. I say Hough like tough just so you know how to pronounce it.
I think people are pretty good. You and Derek Hough and Julianne Hough all have the same last name. So good dance lineage.
I hope I get to meet them too. Like, hey, we're Huffs. Just,
That's right.
And my little hashtag just is tough like Hough. Just if you want to start using
Tough
it.
like Hough it is. All right, Chelsea, thank you so much for visiting us. You guys don't go anywhere because in just a few moments, we will have Evan in the hot seat right over here on To The Point. We'll see you in just a moment.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.